I'm actually very bullish. Now, the recovery from a bear market either comes two ways. Either it comes up, corrects, and then eventually goes, or it comes sharper. It depends on central bank action, liquidity, that kind of stuff. But if I look forward, I'm very bullish because we've just gone through the rate cycle, so that's out of the way. So we've got the downside rate cycle. It can stick somewhere in the middle, which I don't think they will, but let's say the consensus is right. It's the rate of change that matters. The rate of change comes down first, then sticks. So that's good for risk assets.
Raoul Pal, a former executive at Goldman Sachs and a macroeconomics expert, recently gave some insights into his outlook for the year 2023. He stated that he was bullish even though he believed their recession was coming. In a recent conversation published in Real Vision, he provided a great deal of insightful information regarding the economy on his YouTube channel, including some analysis of Tesla and Elon Musk's investments. Everyone seems to be wondering whether or not there will be a recession in the year 2023. At the very least, it appears that the Federal Reserve's actions to slow inflation are having some effect. To know more about this video, just keep on watching, only here at Market Empire. The labor market appears to be leveling off, which releases some of the pressure that has been exerted on wages. At the same time, both housing prices and new construction have decreased. Regrettably, the slowdown in the increased economic activity will probably come with a price tag. According to a survey of economists conducted by Bloomberg in December 2022, there is a 70% chance of a recession in 2023. Although a recession may be necessary to tame inflation, research demonstrates that the adverse effects of recessions are not equally distributed. In some cities, it may be a decade or more before their economies get back on track after a recession. Everyone was taken aback by the news, but there is an excellent chance that the subsequent one will not. Since the beginning of this year, economists have been predicting a recession, and most believe it will begin relatively soon. The idea that the economy is about to enter a period of contraction is pretty much the view held by most economists. However, the degree to which it will be profound, shallow, long, or short is still debatable.
It could be a milder recession than thought by many. It's at least very interesting to discuss when we get to the 2023 outlook in the second half of the show, Raoul. I wanted to touch upon the price action this week first. To me, it's been one of the crazier weeks in global macro that I can remember. We have action ongoing in China, in Japan, in Latin America, in the US, in Europe. Everything is moving at the same time. So what do you make of all of these moving parts this week, Raoul? They're moving in all directions.
Yeah, but a lot of the direction is that the inflation weight is less. And therefore, the rate of change of interest rate increases. The Fed are making it pretty clear they're probably going to go to 25. So it's, as you know, in global macro, it's the rate of change that matters more than anything else, not the absolutes. So if the rate of change changes, all of these beach balls start popping out of the water that have been held down by the heavy weight of interest rate rises and that rate of change. That's all gone. So suddenly, emerging markets go up, gold goes up, crypto goes up, equities go up. That whole story. I don't know what the BOJ is doing. I've kind of lost track of that. And I almost I know it's a bad thing to ignore it because people over focus on Japan, and in the end, it's still pretty contained. It's not like they're going to let rates go to 2%. So, and are they going to? I was having this conversation with Julian Brigden earlier on the Insider Talks. Are they going to let it all go, just give up yield curve control and walk away? I mean, no, they've just widened the band. Why would they suddenly decide, oh, you know what, we're just going to let interest rates run wild in Japan now and completely destroy everything? So, but interesting market overall. I mean, it's been a very risk-on week, very risk-on.
The rate of change comes down first, then sticks, which is suitable for risk assets. This is a topic Raoul Pal's been discussed extensively.
One thing I've noted today, and I guess it's a story that carries links to China as well, was the global announcement of price cuts from Tesla. We obviously also saw the price of cars falling in the CPI report from the US. What do you make of this price cut from Tesla? Is it something worth watching?
So Tesla doesn't have its own dealer network. So really, to manage inventory, they can't ram it into the dealers. So what the other car companies do is give them cheap loans and ram the inventory into the dealers and let them deal with it. So what's happening here is they have to deal with their inventory. So I think it's the right thing to do because, you know, the price of secondhand Teslas has been falling, as all secondhand cars have. And so to stimulate demand, if they're able to do so directly, why not do it? You know, and maybe they gain market share from it. But it proves the point, and it's the point that even Elon Musk was making, is the inflation picture turned a while ago. I mean, I remember him in the summer saying, most of the basket of stuff we're buying is down 50% from the high, and it was like, no, it's not, you know. But so I think what we're seeing from this is, you know, if you think of two businesses of Elon Musk, one is Twitter, one is Tesla. What has he done at Twitter? Laid off tons of staff. And what has he done at Tesla? Cut prices. That's a recession for you, right? That's exactly what recessions are all about. That's exactly what the Fed want to see. They want to see prices come lower. They want to see a rise in, or a lowering in wage demand. So, you know, it's kind of exactly as the framework that you and I have been looking at for a while, which is, you know, recession is coming. And I've lost count of how many, particularly tech companies, have done this now. I mean, it's just endless. I mean, everybody's done at least 1 or 2 rounds, or 3 rounds of cutting headcount costs. And prices generally, we've seen discounting. And remember, you know, I think even you and I talked about this, there was a massive rebuild in inventories, excess inventories that were carried into the end of last year. And you kind of knew that after Christmas, anything they didn't sell was going to have to go out the door. And so I think we will see this everywhere, where we see some massive discounting to clear inventories. And again, classic part of a recession. Inventory liquidation is what recessions are all about. So, you know, I think we'll see a rapid inventory liquidation in the first quarter.
This Looking for the Upside series is a favorite of mine, Raoul. It's a pleasure to host it, since I honestly got a little bit tired of the doom and gloom of Q3 and Q4 of 2022. So is there any upside to look for in 23, and what's the whole idea behind this series?
I'm actually very bullish. Now, the recovery from a bear market either comes 2 ways. Either kind of it comes up, corrects, and then eventually goes, or it comes sharper. It depends on central bank action, liquidity, that kind of stuff. But if I look forward, I'm very bullish because we've just gone through the rate cycle, so that's out of the way. So we've got the downside rate cycle. It'll stick somewhere in the middle, which I don't think they will, but let's say the consensus is right. It's the rate of change that matters. The rate of change comes down first, then sticks. So that's good for risk assets. We've marked down everything in value and price. So therefore, the probability of a risk-adjusted return on the and then we've got, you know, I've been talking about this a lot, the exponential age technologies. We were talking about Tesla, but, you know, anybody's been paying attention has seen what happened to AI. It went from me interviewing Emad to say, oh my God, this is coming, to ChatGPT, to everyone thinking, oh, we're out of a job within 3 weeks. I mean, that ChatGPT went from 0 to 1 million users in 4 days. We've never seen anything like it. And it keeps crashing. There's so many users on it. So that's the technology, and we've got tons of these coming. You know, the energy situation that you've been following so closely, you know, the nightmare in Europe didn't pass in the end. It's, you know, we saw what was bad, but, you know, the Peter Zeihan's of the world and others were like, you know, the Europeans are going to be having to be chipping frozen corpses from the streets. That doesn't look like that's happened. Nobody's run out of energy. Yes, there's been some rationing and stuff like that, but it seems to be contained. So also investors were so negative that I've got charts going back to the 1970s, the AAII investor intelligence survey. It was the most negative since 1970 or something crazy. So usually when all of those things happen and we've got liquidity returning, market's pretty positive. So I love this series because I think everybody's looking that way. and that usually means the opportunities to look the other.
What are your thoughts about Raoul Pal's interview? Leave your comments down below. Please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when we upload new videos to Market Empire.